Good morning, guys. It's Saturday morning here, and it's in the mid 40s Fahrenheit. It's probably about 45, 46 degrees. And for us, it's cold because we have a high humidity down here. You guys know we've been having a lot of rain. So the humidity is like above 85, 90%. So it cuts through you. So I'm getting ready for the ride this morning. And I'm wearing my Rafa tights with pads, the protein tights with pads, which is nice and warm. And I've got my insulated bottle here. This is a clean canteen bottle. Yeah, it's not as light as the plastic bottles we carry, but I tell you what, I got hot cocoa in there. 2 hours into that ride, this bad boy will be just as hot. It's gonna go down really well because we're barely gonna break 50 by the time the ride is over. So we got a front that came in and is sitting here, so it's been cold. For us, it's cold. And I've got hot cocoa in here that I'm starting with. That kind of gets me going. My engine likes to be warm. And since we don't get used to cold weather because it doesn't stay around too long down here, I don't play with it when it comes in. So I got all my gear here that you see up here, stuff on my hands and my neck. And so I much rather carry stuff that I will not need. And today I'm going to be wearing my little neck warmer here. That's what I'm going to be wearing. I can pull that bad boy up. I can even do that. I won't need that, but I think maybe here when I start. And then later in the ride, if I need to, I can just slip it off. I'm going to be wearing that. And I'm also wearing my deep winter hat. I got this several seasons ago at Rafa. I think I paid $35. They usually sell them for $60, $65. They still have them. They call them deep winter hats. But this bad boy, it's a one piece that I know will keep me warm. And if I get too hot, I just flip the ears up because it's designed to be worn like that. This is the one with the glasses holder that I did a video on. That should keep me nice and warm. I went ahead and turned off, I'm downstairs in the basement, so I turned off the heater, the space heater that we have, because the central heat does not heat every corner of the house. I turned off the heater because if I don't, once I put this stuff on, it gets uncomfortable because it's nice and warm. And I got these things on and I'm going to be I'm covering my feet today with these bad boys. I'm trying to get the colors closely. And this is another thing I do. Since I'm wearing all black and it's supposed to be somewhat cloudy to partly cloudy, I'm wearing these on my shoes because that's going to be really visible. And then these are going to be my gloves. I'm wearing liners also, and these will be on top. So that's a little tip for visibility. That's how you stand out with the contrast and with this around my neck. I don't believe I will keep that there. If the ride gets real hot and heavy, I definitely will be taking this off. But my base layer, I'm wearing a vest because when I go hard, my body gets hot. So I didn't wear the one with the sleeves. And what I'm wearing to go with this, I'm wearing the protein jacket. I got it probably 2 or 3 years ago. The protein jacket in black. It's got pockets. Looks more like a jersey than a jacket. But it's a jacket. I'm wearing it because the front blocks the wind. And we start out going north. And the wind is coming from the north. So that's, I just wanted to show you guys my kit. So I'm going to be all in black. And I've got the camera that I'm taking with me to take you guys on the ride. It's going to be on my helmet today. Because I want to set it and forget it. Because it's going to be too cold to be messing around with anything on any other part of the bike. So this will be my kit. So you can just picture it, all black, my white band, this on my feet. And whatever's moving, that's what the drivers see. And now I've got that thing on my neck. So I already feel warm. But I'd much rather be super warm than take things off. And, this thing has 3 pockets in the back, so. I'm carrying my banana bread. I bake more banana bread. No engineered foods until the season kicks in. But this is it. That's all I need. This will go down pretty much close to freezing. This will go up to the mid to upper 60s, and I'll have to unzip it. But we're barely going to be at 50 when I get out. At 10 Celsius will be the temperature when the ride's over. So it's going to be a cold ride. And I think I will just flip this up later. Starting out, it's going to stay there. So I'm going to take you guys on my ride. And I hope you have as much fun as I'm going to have. Yeah, I just wanted to point out, this is the bike I'm taking today. I'm taking the blue bike. You can see I already have the insulator bottle in there. I got these from Clean Canteen online. And it just looks really cool. I got them because they fit in this king cage so securely. They don't rattle. I mean, they're just in there. He basically designed the cage to where he recommended these bottles. The guy who sells that cage. That's how I came across it when I bought the cage. But those bottles are insulated. I mean, 4 or 5 hours into the ride or longer, it's still going to keep the temperature of the drink that I have in there. So I've got hot cocoa in one, and you can feel it. And then I've got electrolyte drink in here, an electrolyte tablet with water in this one. So yeah, it weighs about 90 grams more than a regular bottle, but I don't keep full bottles on my bike too long. I carry the liquids in here. So I'll drink every 10-15 minutes I drink. So just want to share that with you guys. Come along for the ride. I'm heading out, guys. I just wanted to show you my kit. This is pretty much what I'm taking on the road. I'm going to put these, I've got my liners on, and these are going to go over my liners. So I'm going to be real visible. So taking you guys along, have fun with me. Yeah, I'm rolling out here, and my neighbor's doing his yard. He's getting ahead on his mulching because the mulch is cheap this time of year. The spring is not here yet. That's pretty smart.
There we go. Man, it's cold.
Yeah, it was brutal out there. We must have upset the wind somehow.
It's cold this morning, guys. Woo! It may say 40 something. The display is gonna say 57, but it's off because it just got from inside the house. So my Garmin is picking up. It has to readjust to the outside temperature, but it's in the 40s, and it feels like 35. So I'm dressed right. I got enough stuff. I'm a little chilled right now, but once I get going, I should warm up nicely. So I didn't get to ride much this week, so I'm gonna do a longer ride today. I may branch out from the group after the ride and go do a little more.
I'm putting on my gloves here.
Visible gloves up here. These are the Rafa Pro Team gloves. So with the 2 liners, it's perfect.
I'm riding hands-free because there's no wind in this section.
That's why I prefer to do a liner. So when it warms up later, I may pull off one liner.
I don't do hands-free when it's windy. So, and that's important because it can blow your front wheel.
So I prefer to put my gloves over my jacket as opposed to the jacket over the glove, because logic is the wind will slice over the glove and just go and not cool me off too much. So I always tuck my jackets in, and that's what I'm doing right now, tucking the sleeve in. So once I hook up with the group, the first 30 minutes will just be to get my body up to operating temperature, and then see if I need to shed anything once I settle in. Then here comes the UMC group. Uno más cerveza. I'll turn around and join them.
I'm checking for cars behind me because I'm going to make a U-turn. John Beach, Narrated. That's George. And John said top of the morning to you with an Irish accent almost. I told him bonjour. Yeah, that probably didn't come through very well with the wind. What I was saying is that's what's not to do, boys and girls. It's 46 degrees. Do not leave your leggings at home. It doesn't make you tough. It's just not wise. So you see Beach right there with nothing on his legs. It's cold. George back here is dressed properly. That's who you copy. You copy George there, not Beach. Coming out without stuff on your legs when you need to have it covered does not make you tough. It just says you're not thinking, basically. The lights were very favorable on this ride. We hit a green left turn light here. They're finally laid some concrete down here. This is gonna be nice when they get through. They're expanding the size of the road. We're rolling here. And I'm pulling to the left here to let the wind slow me down. There's a hiatus in the pace. The group gotta let up. So I pulled to the side. That's Alan up there. He's adjusting his shoes. And you notice that he pulled out of the line. You don't want to adjust your shoes while you're directly behind somebody, because if this stop and you're leaning over, you're going down. That's why he pulled out. That's how you do it. Listen to that wind. You know, it's Bob. He had been pulling and he pulled off. And one of the first things he talks to me about is the wind. I'll let you listen in on the conversation. Bob's an all-around strong, what we call an all-around strong boy.
Bonjour, mes amis. Ça va bien? How are you?
All right, how you doing?
I'm good. You're good. I'm just hanging back. Huh?
I didn't want to run.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, it's not too bad, but yeah, starting out into it is a challenge.
He's talking about the wind.
Yeah, it's going to stay cold. We'll be lucky to break 50 by the time the ride is done. Yeah, it's going to stay cold. So you wore the right stuff.
Yeah.
You nailed it today.
Oh, good.
It's cold because if it says 45, it feels like 35. Because you know all the rain we've had.
Yeah.
A lot of humidity, yeah. That humidity makes the air cold.
Listen to that wind.
On my knees, man.
Yeah.
That's the key.
We're doing 19 and we're working. I'm in zone 2 right now. We're working.
A couple of rides, not a whole lot, but yeah. I was able to go on. Even if I can't go out, I get on the trainer.
Yeah.
If I can get 30, 45 minutes in, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's Andy. He just joined us in the red jersey.
Andy.
Morning, Andy.
Andy lives out here. And Andy doesn't live too far from where I live.
Oh, it's cold. Yeah, it's gonna be barely 50 when we're done. Yeah, it's gonna.
And he said he wasn't cold till he started
I
riding.
check the weather all week, man. I always keep up with what's coming. And
That was fun.
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be outside in this thing for 2 hours or so, I gotta. Yeah. My engine likes to stay warm.
You know, buses are just real warm, you wore socks.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. I can't do that. Goes below 65, I'm covering up.
Bob's talking about a guy in a group called Mustard from the UK. He never wears anything.
Because you never
He
get
says,
used
"Oh,
to
the
it.
weather
It
in
doesn't
the
stay
UK is
cold very
cold."
long. In a couple of days, it'll hit 80 maybe. You know, that's the thing. You never, your body never adapts. You're doing it right, because if you play with it, you can get sick.
Yeah.
Get out there, your pores are open, you can get sick.
Yeah.
I hate being sick sucks.
Oh, yeah. A lot of energy wasted.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to that wind, guys and girls. This was a brutal ride. This ride was a ride of attrition, and you're going to see it. It may seem mundane right now, but it gets very, very interesting. You know, the weather can change. You can ride. We ride here all the time. The weather can make it a completely different
Got hot
situation.
cocoa.
Oh,
It
nice.
keeps it hot for up to 6 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's heavier than the plastic bottles, but I figure what the hell. So,
That's Alan over there. Alan's one of the strong riders in the group.
we're by a company called Clean Canteen
Alan the blue
for
and black.
camping stuff. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's where I got it a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keeps everything insulated. They got the insulated aluminum and they got the regular aluminum, so I got the insulated one. Got both of them.
Yeah.
Because my wife used to like to buy bottled water.
Right.
So I bought her one of the longer ones and said, fill up from the tap.
Yeah.
That's what they're selling. You know.
Right.
So,
Crack.
yeah, be careful with those cracks. I need to repaint them.
There's a couple of areas here where the concrete pavement has sunk. Like the one on the left is lower than the one on the right.
Walk her
And we
up.
had a couple of crashes
Walk
here
her up in the car.
over the years. So I occasionally would come out and paint a yellow stripe on the area where it's particularly high, because if you come over at a shallow angle when you're changing lanes from left to right, you can catch your front wheel. And so that's what I was talking about. They need to repaint them. It was right around here where it's really bad. So I was telling them, how do you stay on one side or the other? We had 2 riders that fell there over the years. So that's what we're talking about. This is close to my home. So now, if you look at the natives are restless. Look at the group, people moving around. Bob's gone up front. We're not talking anymore. And everybody's kind of shifting around. I'm letting everybody come through so you guys can get a feel for the whole group. We're moving right now. So now the ride is, I'm still off the back here. And this is what you should not do, boys and girls, because it's a good little distance there. I'm basically got my nose over the stem right now and just coasting. It looks like I'm pedaling again. But I had to carry a lot of speed to get back close to them. But that's just, I do that so I can get a workout the entire ride. That's really by choice. Steve's pulling out to blow his nose. That's what you do, boys and girls. When you're not the last rider, don't spit, don't blow your nose in the path of other riders where they can get sprayed in the face by accident, especially on a windy day. That's why he pulled over and blew his nose to the left. You gotta think about the people following you. And don't pass gas in the group either. That's just not cool. We'll pass a couple of riders here.
Good morning.
And so the group's pulling away. It's a 1% climb. And so I have to work here to close this gap. But this is by choice. I'm looking for the work. But you don't want to do this. You want to be close to them. When I ride with a Pro 1, 2, 3, the Sunday groups, from time to time, I don't do that. I stay close. Those guys, there's several levels above our group here. Those guys are pros. So I don't mess around leaving gaps. And they do 85 miles, like 130 some kilometers, There's a lot of distance and they're moving. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm doing this here because I'm trying to get good shots and so forth. And I train this way. I train pretty hard. So I'm conditioned to do this. But generally, this is how you want to be. See, I'm within about a foot of this rider's wheel. And don't overlap unless the rider knows that you're doing that, like in an echelon. We turn here, the road goes up, you want to stay close. So you're not off the back, you're not lagging because you got to make up. You hear that wind. And around here, there's a long drag. I edited a bunch of stuff out because we were just riding. And you know, this film was pretty interesting, so it was hard to decide what to take out. You know, because there's a lot of little, I use these as teaching points for people who are either new or need some reinforcement, just to get you guys comfortable riding in a group. That's the goal. That's why I put these out here. So, and now we're headed out on the open road. We're getting out of the subdivisions, and there's about 50 yards up there. We're going to turn right. And this is where the speed usually picks up. So it's good to know the route that whatever group you're riding with. And once you've ridden with them for a few times, kind of get a feel for where to go fast, where to back off. So you know, okay, they're going to go fast here, you get close. So here, there's a rider coming from the left, right there. I don't know if you saw him, right there. And we thought he was going straight. So the three of us kind of hung back. But then it turned out he was turning on that street we came from. So we got a gap now. The group's up the road. You know, and I've been having a little bit of a sore throat. That's why you hear me clearing my throat. The cold weather is causing a lot of drainage, you know, in the back of my neck, and it's a little uncomfortable. In fact, it's just passed. It was like a 24-hour bug on, I think, Thursday night. It was hurting when I swallowed. So I'm working here. I'm doing 24 miles an hour, and the wind's coming in my face, and from the left. The wind seemed to be everywhere on this ride. We never got a break. So I get back to them. I had to work. That's what I'm explaining. I do this by choice with this group because I want the workout. I don't want to only work when I'm at the front. I want to leave this ride tired. This route we're on is a big cycling route, and they have a path behind those trees, a concrete path. People hike, people, you know, walk their kids, whatever. But there's a lot of cyclists that use this loop because for 5 miles in a loop, you can go without hitting, but maybe one stop sign. So it's a great place to train. I do a lot of training here, my time trial training here. Cars are coming now. This road's gonna narrow, so I started to look back. The second guy. Then there's a third guy. I try to stop him because the road is narrowing. I put my hand out. He slows down right there. And then once he sees me, I move over even more. Now I'm in the middle of the lane to make sure he's not tempted because the road is too narrow for him to pass us. And I'm the caboose. That's my job. That's my responsibility. I'm supposed to look out for the group. A lot of people don't do that. But you're the last guy. You got to look out for what's coming around. And once we get 2 lanes here, I wave him by and I thank him for his patience. That's what that wave is for. And so we have a friend there. So the next time he sees people riding, he's going to think favorably, you know, because we know what we're doing. Because there are some cyclists out there that do crazy stuff. They scare me. When I'm in my car, I'm like, I give them plenty of room, unless they look like they know what they're doing. So here we're gonna turn left soon. So I'm the caboose again. I look back. I move over, but then I saw a guy coming up. So I moved back into this lane because he wasn't slowing down. And then I just waved him over and told the guys that he's coming. And he was the only one coming. So that, you know, it's something that just comes with instinct. I'm back there. I need to look out for the guys in front of me. And when you're in front, you look out for the guys behind you. Not everybody does that, but you should. You need to point out obstacles from the front and from the back. You got to make sure nobody's coming around the way you endanger the group. At this point of the ride, the pace has picked up. I'm moving through the pack to stay near the front. You know,
because I know this stretch here, this is where I launched the attack a couple of rides ago. This is a fast stretch. There are no intersections, and the pace usually goes. So I move through, get up front. I'm probably in 4th position, and I want you guys to look at my heart rate. It's going up. This is zone 3 on the edge of zone 4. Boom, I hit zone 4. This is an incline. It may say 0%. It may be maybe 0.8 or whatever. But with the wind, it's an incline. Everybody's working here. That's why my heart rate's going up. We're doing 23 on an incline into the wind. Okay, that's what it is. I can feel it. I ride here all the time. I know it's an incline. This thing picks up integers, and so that's what sometimes, and it's not super accurate, the display. But my Garmin unit is more accurate. So now it says 0%, and that's more realistic because now it levels off. This is a bridge. So when they build these bridges, they go up and then they level off because they're going over a creek. That's what this is, a long bridge. It's concrete. When the bridge ends, it becomes asphalt. Right here, it's asphalt. Because they bring those concrete slabs when they build these bridges. Now, my heart rate has gotten up to 168, 169. Right now it says 166. And the effort is hard. We got the wind. That's a bumpy part. I usually stand there and I wave and let people know. But you can tell it's hard when nobody's giving warnings from the front. I was the only one giving warnings, and I'm in 4th position. And John Beach is sitting up there kind of long, like he usually does, because his speed's falling because the effort is, I'm not shifting, I'm just rolling a comfortable gear. And you can see my cadence has dropped because the speed has dropped. I really don't want to shift unless I have to, because I don't need to. So I'm just kind of rolling. My heart rate has come down. I'm on the right of Steve here because the wind is coming from the front and to the left. The wind seemed to be all over the place, so you constantly have to look for the draft. And that's another skill you have to develop. The draft does not stay stagnant. You got to go find where the pocket is. So now, look at my heart rate, 161. Remember, it was almost 170. It's dropped almost 9 to 10 beats. That's drafting, guys. Drafting works. Okay? Nothing has changed other than drafting, because this road is actually going to go up. And right now, my heart rate is below 160. When we started that bridge, it was above 160 as we entered the bridge. Now it's at 158. And now John pulls off. It's hard at this point. We're going up here. This is a grade. And he had pulled for a long while. Probably 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, something like that. So I'm just basically, now it says 1%, but this hill actually gets, now it says 2 briefly and goes back to 1. So yeah, and Alan's at the front spinning. But this is just a good example to show you the benefits of riding in a group and being in a draft. You can save a lot of energy and cover more ground than by yourself. So when you're riding, don't worry about your speed being 15 or 16. Focus on what effort you're putting out. The effort is more important than the speed, because solo your speed will be less. Don't focus on that. When you're in a group, you'll go faster. So we come to an intersection here. This is right before our stop. I kind of turned off the unit here and waited till we left the first stop. So you saw my hand up there. So now we're leaving the first stop and we're gonna go right here. So I sneak by this guy who just moved over. We turn right here. This is where we have those hills, thick and fast, just repeatable hills. Somebody yelled. I think it was Neil. And I'm at the front, he's at the back, and he yelled. It's ineffective for me. I just heard a yell. It wasn't something that I could make out. So I slowed down. You see me looking back to see what's going on. And that's Bob behind me coming up. We're trying to figure out what the yell was about. It ended up being a flat, but we found out much later. They're saying half of the guys didn't make the turn or something like that. That's what the yell was about. So we figured we soft pedal to catch up because it's cold. We want to keep riding.
Stay warm.
So Steve said, "Yeah, I need to keep riding because I'm cold."
Well, you're in the hills, dude. It's cool out here.
A lot of these guys are riding with something like Bob here. He has on our summer jersey, and that wind's gonna go right through.
All that stuff. Our jerseys are for like warmer weather, so you gotta put on all this stuff.
Yeah, he needed a jacket, a brevet. Yeah. So we just continue riding because Bob's kind of cold. He's wearing a summer jersey with a base layer at best. So when he stops, he feels it, and so he and I just keep rolling. We're thinking people are behind. We end up rolling away, and we're not aware of it because we're really just riding on the 2% hill here. We're thinking that right now we're just kind of rolling, thinking the guys will catch up, but they never did. The 4 guys never did. They ended up riding alone until the second stop. So we ended up with about 6 or 7 riders in the front group. It happens. It ended up somebody had a flat. It was Andy. Andy had a flat, yeah. The guy with the red and white jersey that joined us at the school back there. So Bob and I roll along, and I look back to check for traffic here, because Bob's been up there for a while. I edited some of his pull. Bob does a lot of work. Bob is like a George Hincapie type of rider, just a strong all-around rider. He may not be the fastest sprinter or the fastest climber, but he can do all of them. So I get to the front, keep my cadence close to 100, because we're going up a hill into the wind. I did a lot of muscling gears last week. This week, nope, I was spinning back to my normal cadence. So you see the speed is 17-18. That's what speed means, bupkis. 17-18, my heart rate says 169, zone 4. So don't worry about speed. Just worry about how hard you're going and for how long. That's all the body knows. The body doesn't know what speed you did. So I turned and I kept the effort. You see my cadence. I'm keeping my gears low and I'm spinning. And we're going uphill. It says 0 over there. Don't fall for that. There, and I said 1%. This whole stretch is a drag from the time we turn. And this software will pick up the main integers, 1%, 2%, so forth and so on. It doesn't pick up the 1.7. 1.7 into the wind, you feel it. It's a grade. And you going at speed. So the speed says 16, my heart rate is 170. I'm going hard. Doesn't matter what the speed says. We're climbing into the wind. It's just Bob and I. Look back just now. Then I realized it's just the 2 of us. So this light's red anyway. We figure we'll regroup here. So I turn around to get a shot so we can see.
The boys coming.
There you go.
They weren't ready to go yet. I don't know how these guys can come without shorts. It is cold.
Yeah, I'm talking. It's cold.
It's cold.
We're talking about, here's one of them, beach. No, I meant
right
not shorts. I meant
Like I said, we're not going to hit
tights.
50 by the time the ride.
No tights. I don't know how he does
in this
that.
lane.
45
Let
degrees.
that guy go.
There's a car coming in the right lane. Waving the boys over. That's when we realized here that we only had half the group, pretty much.
Okay, everybody's here. Is everybody
There's
here?
only 7 of us. We lost 4.
I don't think it's everybody.
Who's behind
Who's behind? Okay. All right.
Yeah, they were yelling, not stopping.
So we decide to wait across the street.
That was
We decide to wait across the street.
okay. Shoot. So we need to wait. We can wait over there for them.
So during the wait, Steve Neasley, who puts the group together, called, and one of the guys said we should go ahead. That they were going to take a shortcut and try to catch up with us, but they never did until the second stop. But they were okay, and they were having challenges fixing a flat. They were so far back with those hills, they didn't want us to stand there in the cold waiting. So we rolled on.
I'm making a
They know the route.
saying this so those guys don't pull off. I'm making the cars move over, but I'm saying this so those guys don't pull off the front. Yeah, it's really for whoever might be pulling off. I'm making sure they pass on the wire.
Yeah, I was just telling Alan that when I said car back, he shouldn't freak out. I'm letting the guys at the front know a car's coming, but I'm making the car pass us
I
wide.
got your back.
So that's what I was telling him. Every time I said car back, he would look back as if to say the car was that close or whatever. I was just letting him know that it's really for the guys up front so they don't pull off like Bob, who just pulled off here. When the car's coming back, I don't need you coming in front of them. So that's why. So I moved up on Bob's wheel. Alan was stretching. He was standing and stretching. So I just kind of rolled up here and sat on Bob. Bob's always pulling. Bob is a strong. Bob's a diesel. He just sits up there and he'll just pull, you know. And you know, he just enjoys riding his bike. You know, Bob's a cyclist. Bob comes out week in and week out. Even sometimes Bob's not in condition and still wants to sit up there and pull. You gotta fight him to say sit in the back, take a break, let somebody else pull. So Bob's a worker. Bob's a super domestique. So we roll around here, and Bob's just chilling. Because we got an intersection up here, so he's not. But we had a lot of favorable lights. Either they were green when we got there, or they turned green right after we got there. It was really we kept rolling, you know, with this wind. The ride kept getting harder and harder. Yeah, there we go. Just, you know, this light usually is red. Rolling. There's Neil on the left. I think Neil was not riding very well today, so he just kind of stayed in the back most of the time. That's what I heard later anyway. Just I was within earshot. And that's what you got to do, boys and girls. If you're not feeling good, sit in. You got nothing to prove. Sit in, spin.
Go ahead.
You'll still get a workout. You don't have to pull. If you do get to the front, just pull off. As soon as the other rider that was pulling pulls off, you just pull off, go back to the back. Just do what you can. The day when you're feeling good, get to the front because it's only fair. Share the work. So I end up at the front here. I edited a bunch of my pull because I pulled for a long time. The group's small. It's like 7 of us. So I figure I'll stay up there until somebody decides they want to come and do something. I was feeling pretty good today. I didn't ride too much during the week, and I got to rest, and then just got to loosen up Friday evening indoors. So when I got out there, I was anxious for a workout. So Alan pulls through at the intersection. I get on his wheel here. We're rolling, and the rest of the guys are behind us. We're still fighting this wind. And the funny thing is, this road is not straight north. The road goes north, it goes east, and it goes, you know, northeast, northwest. So we're in a big circle, and everywhere we turn, the wind just seemed to be there. It was really, really an odd day. That's Mustard. That's the guy from the UK who says he does not feel the cold. And he's done this for years on end. I've ridden with his group for a few years. And it can be cold. He just comes out with regular jerseys, maybe an undershot. I've only seen him wear arm warmers once. He doesn't even have arm warmers on. He says he has a layer of fat under his skin that keeps him warm. Mustard, he's the brewer. He has culinary skills and he brews really good beer. I mean, beer that you could sell. You know, that is that good. I've actually sampled it. And I'm not a big beer drinker. So we're turning left here on a street called Branch Crossing. So I roll to the right, I signal to that driver, and then I wave people through to make sure we all get through. And then I move up. I know Alan's been there for a while. I edited some of his pull. And I'll go ahead and, okay, I'm going to give him a break. So I roll to the front to just share the work. So I roll to the front here, just smoothly enough to where he can just slip on my wheel without any effort. And I'm on the hoods, but I'm down low. And I edited my pull. I pulled for a while there. We're turning right here. This is called Terramont Parkway. Very deceiving. It turns and it kicks. You see how it says 1% right away? That's how quickly it kicks. Right in that turn, you feel the grade. And it's like, it's more than 1% in my opinion. And it goes forever. See that rider on the right that we just coming up on? He's climbing. This thing may not show anything. He's climbing. And we're just coming by. I'm doing 17 and I'm passing him. This road is hard. So, yeah, the display now says 1% right. Feels like 2.5 to me. And it goes. It goes and it turns. So you climbing, is turning, is windy. And all you have to do, all I do is I relax and I keep my cadence up. So if you look at my cadence, it's about 100, thereabouts. I've pulled for a while. I edited a bunch of it because I sat there for a while because the group is small. So I just want to keep us moving. Now right here, I've signaled to Alan. You can see my shadow. I've signaled to Alan to come on up. I moved over on the right because the wind is coming from the right. So always pull off into the wind because you continue to give the group shelter as they come by. And then back off the pace. You see, I signal my speed is 19. It was 20 before I got off the front. And so I'm rolling all the way back. And then Bob says, good pull. I told him the wind's brutal. You can't hear us because the wind is blowing so much. The microphone on the camera is just being drowned out. But Bob was thanking me for the pull. And he spends a lot of time up there. Bob does not care for the wind that much. Not that anybody does. It's a psychological thing. You're doing all this work and you don't feel like you're going anywhere. But you can make up time up a hill. You can also make up time in the wind depending on whether it's one-on-one. In a group, the group has the advantage. So I'm going to give Steve a wheel. There's a gap that developed here. Steve Neasley is the guy who sets the group up. He's the leader of the group. So I roll in front of him. And it's hard to gauge what speed is going to be comfortable for him because something caused that gap to open. You can see it's a sizable gap because Alan's just pulling. He'd been pulling for a while. So I decided to keep the speed at 20. I figure 32 kilometers an hour. I have my display on my Garmin in kilometers. So I figure I'll stay around 32 kilometers an hour. And Alan sees that there's a gap. He pulled off the front. And then Mustard is in front now. They're right there. So I'm not fighting to close the gap. I want to make sure I just keep it steady for Steve so he can, whatever caused the gap to open, he can recover. But then something I didn't understand happened. Shortly, you'll see Steve comes around me, and I'm not really sure. He comes around me for a little while. I'll wait till we get to that point, because now the group, those guys are up there. They're not too far ahead. We can catch them. I just didn't want to accelerate too much and put Steve in any difficulty, because I'm trying to keep the group together. There's a rider on the right who was not part of our group, and we're coming up to him. We're doing 18 and we're coming up to him. So I know it's rough because this wind is out there and he's riding solo. So watch this exchange, or listen to this exchange.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
All right, man, I'm done.
That's a cyclist for you. He says, I'm done. Yeah, well, I know what he meant. This wind. So then Steve comes around me, and he picks up the speed like 1 mile an hour. He's doing 21. We were doing 20 before. So I said, okay. So now I'm sitting there. You can kind of get a feel when somebody's slowing down. You can feel it. As soon as he starts to slow down, I just go by. And I picked it up 1 mile an hour. I figure if he can do 21 on the front, 22 in the back should be comfortable. And that should help us get closer to those guys. And that's what he was trying to do, was to just try to get up to those guys. I didn't want to do it all in one fell swoop, because then you drop the person that's having difficulty anyway. So I'm holding 22, and you can see we're getting closer. So the wind's giving them a hard time too. And shortly after this curve, we come to a red light. So we all kind of regroup. And then it gets interesting after this. You're going to enjoy this. So this is Woodlands, the Woodlands Parkway? No, Woodlands Parkway. We're northwest of Houston in the hills. You know, I think it's the best place to ride bikes if you're going to be in the Houston area. The flats are pretty boring.
Almost like I don't need a jacket.
So this is Mustard here with the orange jersey. Mr. Man does not wear any kind of cold weather gear. I've never seen him wear leggings. I've seen him wear arm warmers. That's it. So then John Beach in the red is in front, trying to copy Mustard. I guess he got European blood in him too. I guess I don't feel the cold. So he's up there. There's Bob on the right here, and Alan in the blue. So the four of us are near the front, and so Steve Neasley, and who's the other one? I think that's it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's 7 of us. Neasley and Neil. Yeah, Neil is there. Yeah. So John stays there for a while. I cut out some of his pole. He was there for 4 minutes plus, maybe 5 minutes. It's he's taking a long pole. So he's sitting up there. If you look at the speeds, we're doing 22, and we're going. The wind's everywhere. We're turned southeast, and it's still windy. You think we'd have a tailwind? No. So now we're going up a grade here. It just popped at 1%. I think it's more than that. It goes up and it curves, and it just seems to go on for quite a while. And John Beach stays at the front. It's a stop sign. He checks, waves us through. I wave the guys in the back, let them know nothing's coming. And you can see, look at my cadence. So yeah, we're coasting here. I cut out some of the pull because it was just monotonous riding. This thing was already long enough. It's like, you know. So, and look at my cadence again. I'm spinning. Anytime I get the chance, I'm spinning. Right here, we're coasting. So we're gonna turn right here. And this right there is a grade. You see the 2% right on this corner, it bites right there. Now watch, nobody wants to go to the front. There's a law, and I go. I'm like, we're gonna keep it on. We're gonna keep it hot and heavy. Watch my cadence. And we're going up a hill here. It says -0 now. That one no -0. That bad boy was biting. It's one of those that bite thick and fast. I'm in the triple digits. We're gonna turn left on that corner, and it goes even steeper. And watch my effort. Watch my heart rate climb. Because this lets you know how much work. I don't worry too much about speed, because you could be going down there and doing nothing. This is a climb right here. This bites, and you can see my heart rate is jumping because the body's pumping more blood now to my muscles. I'm carrying almost 20 miles an hour on this incline here. It says 1%, now it jumped to 2. It's steep. It's short, but it's steep. It's one of those that if you're in the wrong gear, it can slow you down dramatically. And so I kept my cadence high. And there's a right turn coming up. I did not slow down for that turn. I took that turn like Formula One. And I don't know if the camera can do it justice, but there's a white car there, and I'm turning right. And I don't slow down. Yeah, the camera does show that. I mean, I went through that corner. I did not slow down. And of course, there were gaps because when you go like that, you got to be right there to be on my wheel. So I'm moving, still keeping the effort at 171. Same effort, hard. Hard, just going. And I hear riders, Alan. Then I look back. I'm going to look back here. Or did I already look back? Because I knew it was just the three of us. I moved over here in this opposite lane so I could spot to see if a car was coming. I did not want to slow down. I told them to go because I could tell it was clear. I didn't want to slow down because it allows the people who have fallen off the pace to get back easily. They want to get back. I want them to work. And so I'm behind Alan here just to see what kind of pace he's carrying. So Alan's pulling a fairly good pace. So I sit in. You see my cadence. It's still triple digits. And the significance of that is when I'm planning on launching attacks or I'm planning on going hard or staying there longer, when I'm working hard, my cadence goes up. I know that some people talk about Durian Rider. Not everybody likes him. I take him in little doses, but some of his stuff makes sense. When you're working hard, cadence matters. When you're just sitting around, you can do anything you want when you're just rolling. So basically, I roll around Alan. I turn right.
Watch the dog.
And these people are crossing. Yeah, I'm about to continue, and Alan asked me to slow down for those guys. That's right there. He asked. You can't really hear it, but he asked me to slow down. So then I decided to film this for you guys.
All right, boys and girls, don't stay up there too long. You can't go over the brake. Next time, take a shorter pull. That's for my viewers.
So that was the lesson of the day for that incident. Don't sit up there for 5-6 minutes so somebody can say great pull and then you get dropped.
That was sweet, Bob.
That's the lesson. The lesson of the day. Yeah, lesson of the day. So don't go out there and do no macho pull, kill yourself, because somebody might decide to speed it up. Then you're riding alone. Then what? What was the point of that pull? Take a little bit of pull, take a little bit, make sure you stay. Make sure you got plenty left. It's up to you.
Okay, good.
Make sure you got plenty left. It's up to you. Everybody's a judgment call. You got to know yourself. If you're up there for 5 minutes, make sure you can be up there for 5 minutes and still have something. So Bob pulled us all the way to Kirkendall. I edited his pull. But as usual, he was up there forever. And he pulled us. And after this intersection, we get to play. We get in the bergs, what I call the bergs, the Flintstone bergs. Flint Ridge berg, not Flintstone. Flint Ridge. Flint Ridge bergs. Because they come thick and fast, one after another. And the boys get excited. So, here we go. Just one after another. They are relentless, and they just keep coming, and they're little leg breakers. And the speeds that we ride them at make them even harder. So we're rolling. This first one is nothing. You just kind of roll over it. We're rolling, And on this part of the early part of it today, on this ride that day, there was a guy with a pickup truck that was just, I don't know what he was spaced out or whatever. Every intersection we seemed to catch up to him. He's driving a car and couldn't keep away from us. Took him a while to get out of the way. He was just in the way. So at first it slowed us down until we really got into the business of riding. So this is our little Kemmelberg and Koppelberg or whatever they call them. And Alan's rolling up this one. This one is about 4% at its at its highest. I'm sorry. At its top. But it doesn't show up on here much. So we get over it and we're going down. And that's the guy in the pickup truck I'm talking about. So he hits this stop sign. That car goes. Then he goes. So we're right up on him. We just roll with him. I figure this guy is gone now. We're not going to see him again. For some reason, we see him at the next stop sign off the road. I'm like, okay. I'm not sure what Neil was yelling back there, but it wasn't legible. Couldn't make it out. And this is where this guy is sitting. There's a car in front of him. The car turns, and so I just rolled through because I'm climbing. I'm not gonna stop. I'm in the middle of a little hill, and yeah, we're not making
it.
it.
Look too cool, but
yeah,
I'm gonna stop over there.
Don't do that, boys and girls. That's Alan. Alan said I should erase that. I'm gonna just leave it in. I was standing going up that hill. I wouldn't. Yeah. So Neil was like, "Oh yeah, we're making friends." He was being sarcastic. And so then Mustard takes off. So I figure other people would chase him down. I've been sitting up there for a while. So he wasn't going that fast. And you look at my heart rate, 165, doing about 26. We're going slightly downhill here. And I'm just trying to see if anybody would take up the chase, but nobody wanted to take up the chase. And then somebody started to say, "Oh, Mustard's staying away." I decided he'd been out there long enough. So, right there. I don't know if you heard that, but I heard it and I decided, okay, let's go. Time to go. So yeah, it's not easy by any means. I mean, this is zone 4. I gave it a stick. You know, upper 20s. And we came up on him and he had nothing left. So it was a good attack, but I don't know. He could not go with us. So once I got up on him, I could feel his speed was slow. I just rolled past with the group. I rolled past. I rolled to the right because the wind's coming from our right and it's slightly in our face. And Bob comes through. He rolls through. Andy's there. And I didn't see anybody else, so I got on Andy's wheel. Oh, that's not Andy. That's John Beach. I thought it was Andy. Andy's got a red and white jersey. Andy's not with us right now. He was one of the ones that had the flat. Yeah, this is John Beach. So John's on Bob's wheel. And usually when John takes over, his pulls are like an acceleration. You know, it's like a NASCAR acceleration. So I'm sitting in a moderate gear, probably mid-90s, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's usually where I sit, close to 100, because I can go to 120 if I need to. And then he takes off, and as you can see, he makes up no ground, you know. So I just stayed around 100 RPMs because this grade is kicking in. It doesn't register, but look at the picture. That road is going up and to the left. I'm spinning at 104 right now because I'm expecting somebody else to do something and nothing's happening. I feel him slow down and I don't get up. I just spin. Look at my cadence. I'm still sitting. I just spin and pick up the speed because this is a grade. That's why you don't see much speed. Then I look back and then I stand and I give it the gas because we're on the hill now. It says 1%. I think it's more than that. It's short. And it's done. Power's out. And Alan comes back. And that was good. So the two of us just rode away. Playing. The boys are playing in the hills. I mean, you know, what else you got to do on a Saturday morning? So I'm belly breathing right there. Get oxygen in there, and boom, I'm done. Everything's back. My equilibrium's back. Boom, boom, boom.
That was good, man. The wind.
Let the blood flow. Yeah. Good job, guys.
There was more wind than I think.
That was Bob. That's Bob back there. Bob does a good job.
I think the wind will be behind.
Bob had pulled. Bob pulled like more than half of this ride. I think Bob was doing all the pulling. You know, we pulled for a while too, but it just seemed like he was always there. So this is after the second stop. We're on the way back. We're on the way home. Because after that effort, I turned the camera off for a while, and we stopped at the HEB. This area is called Creekside in the Woodlands, and they've got it's really nice. They've got this is in the middle of the highway. They built a shopping center in the median between two lanes of Kirkendall, one of our major arteries. And I thought, man, that's really cool. So we stopped there because the HEB is one of the few places that got water in the automated dispensing machine. They have water as a choice, so we always get water from there. You can see all these nice shops, and they got a lot of interesting shops in there. It's kind of nice. It's a relatively new area. So we're headed back, and I'm expecting a tailwind.
It's cold. It says 56, it feels like 45.
Yeah, the whole ride was cold. We can't get used to this. We go from 75, 80 to 45.
You never know.
From 21 to 7 Celsius. In 24 hours. How are you supposed to get used to that? So we're turning south on Creekside Forest. That's this street. And I'm expecting a tailwind because theoretically we're going south and all the wind's been beating us on the north. That's not the case. There's no tailwind. It's all over. It's just swirling around. Look at the jacket on this guy. It's like the wind's billowing in the arms and all that. I wish you could see my jacket. It's like it's glued to my body. So that's the difference, folks. Got to get the right gear. You see my arms there. You can't see anything billowing. The wind does not get anywhere near it. Under it. It goes around it. That's Neil over there pulling his knickers down. He's cold.
I think Neil's getting cold.
He's wearing knickers trying to make them into a full-length tight. And we got two guys who don't have any knee coverings, right? That's funny. These guys. Guys are funny sometimes, the stuff that we do. The women have it all figured out. We still messing around. Foolishness. It's cold, you gotta cover yourself. It's not macho to not cover yourself. So Neil pulled his knickers down and went right back up. He wanted to cover his calf. So right here, I'll move over on the left to block the whole road. That's what I'm telling Neil. I don't want these cars passing because they make poor decisions. And the car's coming from the left of the turn circle. We're in there, so I basically put my hand out to let him wait. And at this point, this road here is narrow. This is the opposite way of where earlier in the ride I had to stop the other car. So now, I move over and I look back. I'm making sure they know we're using the road. Don't try to pass. I put my arm out, communicating with them. And I was hoping that we'd get through this section pretty quickly, but then it seems like we're going into the wind. There's the wind out of the west. We're headed west, and the wind's out of the west. So I decided to go to the front to see what's going on because we're really not going that quickly. I wanted us to just get out of here and then we can take our time. So I look over to see who's there, and I realize it's Ken, and he looks like he's having a hard time up there. So I move up to give him a wheel. And this is not easy. I mean, I'm moving into the wind 20 something, so I move up to give him a wheel, and he and Alan are there, so I think he pulled off instead of getting on my wheel. So I'm pointing out the hazards on the road to the guys behind. Right about here, there are holes in there. So now we're up. As soon as we crest this little rise, which does not register, of course, you feel all those things. It says 1%. These things are short and they're steep. So I'm telling Alan to wave the cars around. Let them get by. They've been patient. Let's get them from behind us. So then a car is coming, so I stop them. And now I'm waving back again. And they come by. They've been there for the whole stretch. Because this is unedited. Okay. So I decided I'm at the front. I'm just going to sit here because it seemed like, everybody's having a challenge. I was feeling pretty good. Just feeling like my old self, even though I just got over a sore throat. Anything above the neck you can ride technically, so it wasn't affecting me. So I basically settled into a rhythm. I figured I'd stay around 20 miles an hour. I'm riding for the slowest guy in the group again. I stay around 20 miles an hour so everybody can get this draft and we can share the work. So I begin to ride. and I'm letting this driver know, don't pass, because those are the situations that create problems for us. Drivers pulling out in front of you. So I always make sure I make eye contact with them. And then John Beach attacks. It wasn't a very powerful attack or anything. So then Tom comes around, and Neil is on Tom's wheel. So I guess I wasn't going fast enough for them. So I said, okay, let's see what else develops. But Tom comes around, Neil's on his wheel, and they go nowhere. I mean, they're right there. I didn't even speed up. So then I thought they were going up to John's wheel. They never did anything. You can see he's still up there. So I just go back around them. I don't know why they even came around. And I went around them, and I decided to just go a little harder. So I kicked to the 25. And then Alan comes around, and he attacks. And you watch. I'm still under control. Watch my heart rate. 175, 176. I don't get excited. I come up to John. I'm still doing the same thing I was doing. I come up to him. I look back. No cars coming. I move over close to the yellow line. I gave it a kick. I'm not going full gas. I'm just changing the speed, because I know when you change the speed how it affects people. I change the speed, and I yell car back to Alan so that he does not turn. There's a left turn coming up because I'm closing in on him. So I let him know not to turn, and he heard me. I turn, and I'm catching up to Alan. And I told him, let's go, let's not wait for them.
Let's keep it going. Don't slow down. Don't wait for them. Come on. They can catch up.
And Alan laughed. They want to attack me? Okay, I'm gonna show you. So I turn left. You don't want me to pull? That's fine. I'm gonna keep going. You want to go fast? Let's really go fast. So I keep it rolling. Okay. I just keep it rolling, same speed. They wanted to go harder, so now I'm going harder. This is the same effort that it took to catch them. So I figure I'll stay right here because this is the effort they want. So we're going through this neighborhood, and I think Beach eventually catches up to us because he had to work, because I didn't give him a wheel when I came by. So he had to work. Took a lot of energy to catch us. So all I'm doing is I'm just keeping the pace at the same level. I look, there's no car, I tell him clear. I go through and I accelerate a little bit every turn. I'm just keeping the pressure on. And I'm making sure my heart rate does not drop. I'm not really looking at the heart rate. I'm looking at the screen now as I do this narration. But when I'm riding, I don't look there. I just go ahead and just keep the pressure on. If I'm not sure, I may glance. But I can tell by feel whether the speed's dropping or not. So Alan comes to the front. I know Beach is there because I've seen him. He didn't come through because this is hard. Because remember, he attacked. He sat out there for a while. Then we came around. Then he chased us. You got to pay back that tax. We go around. I take this corner next to the white line, carrying my speed, and I roll past Alan because I don't want the speed to drop. I told him, come on. Because my heart rate's dropping. That means it's getting easier. So I want to get it back up. Watch, my heart rate's going back up. 169. It went from 166 to 170. And I want it up there. That's all I'm doing. I'm just keeping it hard. And so every time I go by Alan, I say, come on. And we're going. And we're going, and the wind is everywhere. And all I'm doing is I'm just in a gear that I can roll, and I'm in a gear that I can accelerate in if necessary. So right now my cadence is staying close to 90 because I can go from 90 to 120 in whatever gear I'm in. But we're doing 22, 23 into a pretty stiff wind. I like this road, it's so smooth. It's beautifully paved. I got my Schwalbe tires on, and they really sing. They're sticky. They're like NASCAR tires. And then Alan comes around, and then Beach pulls through. So I get on his wheel. I want to make sure we don't slow down. We've got a turn coming up down there for a street called Rayford. And I'm hoping that no cars are coming. I don't want to break any action. I want to keep the pressure on. Because this is like climbing a mountain. We got the wind in our face. I want to keep the pressure on. Because he started this, I figured I'm going to finish it. Let's go really hard. Forever. And right here, I took the corner because Alan said it was clear. I could see it was clear, and I just kept the speed. I'm standing there just to keep it going, and we're going up a little hill. Okay, this little rise. You can see I'm still up. You can see my shadow. And I'm finding a gear. All I'm doing is by feel. I'm just searching for a gear that will be just hard enough. And I think I found it. My cadence settled around 90. And we're doing 90, which gives me 20 miles an hour into the wind up a grade. And I'm just keeping the pressure. Look at my heart rate, 171. I don't look at it much. I can just tell by feel what I'm at the same area. I'm just keeping it. This is like 10 or 11, 15 beats behind my time trial pace. So I'm really not going super, super hard. But it's not easy. You know, so I train in this zone periodically, not often. Because, you know, this uses a lot of your glycogen. And so Alan comes around. So when he comes around, I feel his speed is a little slower than I want to go. I don't think I let him sit up there long. I kicked it back up to 22. I kicked it back up. And I told him, let's keep it going. Because he was doing about 20, 21. Kicked it back up. And that's it. We ended up just Alan and I right there. We rode away. You know, that's how you do it, boys and girls. That's how you do it. You're going to attack. You better have something in your tank. Because somebody's can counterattack. And Alan's smiling. It's just the two of us. We just kind of rolled away. And then we decided when we turned here, there was nobody there. We decided let's just wait for them then. But you know.
Well, the sun has finally come out. I rode the rest of the ride with my glasses stuck in the back of my jersey, the old school way. I put it down there to stop and just forgot it was there. So I rode the rest of the ride with nothing, no glasses on. Didn't miss it really until I just got around this corner and I realized. So it's a good ride. A little bit of action, not as much as some of the other rides, but it was still good for a cold ride. It was cold for us. It was a cold day, and you saw some of the guys with shorts on. I don't really know how to do it. I'm wrapped up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I give them.
I'm gonna show you guys my kit. I'm gonna take the helmet off and show you my kit.
Yeah, I ended up peeling off my neck warmer, what I call it, and taking that off at the first stop. Other than that, everything else was perfect.
We're gonna get more cold front, so I'm gonna let my.
By the time I got back, my neighbor had cleared all his mulch off the street.
Take my helmet off so you guys can show you my kit. It's a good ride, very good ride, guys. I hope that this. So basically, that's my kit. I think I showed you guys, but anyway, I just wanted you just to make sure. But that's what I did today. Hope you guys had fun, because I did.